On today's episode of the Cryptoverse. Realistically, will Bitcoin ever reach $500,000? Well, the first investor in Snapchat seems to think so, yes. TunnelBear is the simple VPN app that makes it easy to browse the web privately and enjoy a more open and secure internet experience. Try TunnelBear for free by checking out the link in the video description below. Hi there guys, and welcome to the latest episode of the Cryptoverse, your regular dose of news and commentary on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and blockchains. I'm your host, Chris Coney. Today is Monday the 10th of April, 2017. One small announcement for you today, and then we'll get to the market roundup. The announcement is that yesterday's live stream recording is now available if you missed it. I actually managed to keep this one to 1 hour and 30 seconds. That's a miracle. And it went pretty well. It was interesting that it was supposed to be call-in show number 3, but nobody called in. So we ended up just doing chat Q&A. And it turned out okay, just go with the flow. So if you want to watch that, you can check it out on the Cryptoverse YouTube channel. It's called Cryptoverse Live Call-In Show Q&A number 3. So now on to the market roundup, courtesy of coinmarketcap.com. I haven't put this in the notes, but I was talking recently about the Bitcoin dominance figure and will it ever reach its old numbers. I speculated that no, it probably won't get back up to like 80 or 90%, but it may get to the mid-70s, and today it's 69.5%. Now, having said that, today's news segment is going to completely destroy that, because if what jeremy-liew saying is true, that kind of rhymes, if it's true what he's saying about Bitcoin reaching $500,000 coin value, well then Bitcoin's dominance may well go back to the 80 or 90% mark, assuming none of the other coins can go with it to that kind of degree. Anyway, I'm going to call this the obscure coin insanity. About all of these random coins from outside the top 20 zipping into the top 20 and then disappearing. Well, that hasn't gone away yet. Today we have virtual coin, not seen in the top 20 before, now jumping right into number 10 because it has a $94 million market cap. However, if you're watching this on YouTube, you may notice something rather odd about the numbers. Do you know what it is? It's this. CoinMarketCap is reporting that the price of virtual coin has jumped 158% based on just, wait for it, $629 of trading volume. As far as I can tell, this coin doesn't even have its own website. When I went to virtualcoin.ca, which according to CoinMarketCap is its official website, it just redirects you to a thread on the Bitcoin Talk forum. And then when I read through that stuff, I noticed a little bit too much talk about big and easy profits and less focus on solving real free market problems with their innovative technology. Now, I haven't done a proper analysis on this coin yet, but from what I saw on the forum, it wasn't hard to see those signs, the big profits, the easy profits, that sort of stuff. So that immediately raised a red flag for me. And then when I went to their block explorer, that site didn't even load at all. Now, I'll put links to everything that I found in the YouTube description if you want to look into this yourself. I, however, am going to stay well clear of it for now. So if we discount the old virtual coin, then technically the biggest winner today is Decred. Forgotten to highlight it. But Decred is now trading at $12.97. That's with a $2.5 million trading volume. That's more like it. Decred is now chilling there in 13th place with a $60 million market cap. And surprisingly, the biggest loser today is Litecoin. You might have seen that when I scrolled past it earlier on. It's fallen 14% in the last 24 hours. I've been saying recently that I believe that the price of Litecoin has been well supported by the fact that it's close to activating segregated witness. Now that situation hasn't changed. We still have 65% miner support for segregated witness on Litecoin, and remember the threshold is 75%. This is exactly the same as it was yesterday when we checked it during the live stream. But anyway, Litecoin is now trading at $8.42 after $105 million of trading. However, that puts Litecoin back down at the 5th position underneath Dash, as those two continue to trade places between 4th and 5th. So in terms of the news then, I've turned to the Cointelegraph, the future of money. Now I've chosen to cover this story today because it's a great follow-on from a question that came up yesterday on the live stream. Someone asked me this question. They said, do I believe Bitcoin will ever reach a $1 million price? And I said yes, but you couldn't reasonably ask me when. In this article, however, there are some specific predictions as to exactly when Bitcoin will reach $500,000. So let's take a look at this. Let's see if these predictions are credible and reasonable, because they are backed by other numbers. It's not an arbitrary thing, as you will see. So here we go. It begins by saying Jeremy-Liew, the first investor in Snapchat Inc., the $24.5 billion parent company of popular social platform Snapchat, said in an interview with Business Insider that Bitcoin price can realistically reach $500,000 by 2030. Okay, so there's the first claim. This is coming from Jeremy-Liew, and it's based on something he said in an interview. And there's no doubt someone's going to pick that up if you say something like this. Now, if you're not familiar with Jeremy-Liew, he is a partner at Lightspeed Ventures, Lightspeed Venture Partners, and they currently have investments in crypto projects like blockchain.info, Ripple, LedgerX, BTC, China, and of course, Snapchat. Now, he's invested in and sold a number of successful companies, including what's one you might have heard of? Flickster, you probably heard of that one, that sold. Now, this doesn't mean that he's right about Bitcoin just because of his track record. It does mean, however, in my eyes, that his credentials are enough to get our attention, no matter what he says next. You know, he reserves the right to say something daft after that, but so far we can continue to listen to him. All right, so in the orange bit, it says, as reported by Cointelegraph in February, the Philippines officially recognized Bitcoin as a legitimate remittance and payment method. Now, to my mind, this is kind of like a sneaky chess move. Say you are the government administration of the Philippines. It's a place where the GDP per capita is $3,200. So then say you make Bitcoin legal for remittances. That opens up a flow of capital into the country. And then more specifically, it flows the capital to the citizens, who then spend the money in the country, upgrade their lifestyle, and because of the greater incomes, they're likely to pay more taxes. So that's the virtuous cycle from the point of view of the government. And this is actually how I can see Bitcoin as a global currency, closing this enormous gap between the richest and the poorest. Like, the current system gives the richest an unfair advantage. I personally want a system where the billionaires are the ones who have added the most value to the world and the population at large, not the ones who have managed to get themselves into specifically favorable positions of power where they cannot be challenged. Anyway, that's just a side note. Let's refocus on the story at hand here. Let's go on to the yellow bit. According to Liew and blockchain CEO Peter Smith, the transportability and the high liquidity of Bitcoin allow the digital currency to operate as a practical remittance method for the general consumer base. Right, another mention of Bitcoin as applied to international remittances, which is just one of its many applications and use cases. With regards to my previous point, though, about the wealth gap, it's access to finance, or not, that is the massive contributor to that wealth gap. Hence why remittances are the key to breaking down that barrier. Now, on to the green bit. It says, in consideration of Bitcoin's exponential growth, its limited supply, scarcity, and rarity, Liew explained that it is highly likely for Bitcoin's price to reach $500,000 as its user base reaches 400 million. See, that's bold. The more specific you go on the record, the more chances you have of being wrong, of course. But hey, he's been bold enough to throw the numbers out there and be specific about it, so more power to him. So $500,000 per Bitcoin based on 400 million users, meaning we could logically extend that to $1 million per Bitcoin at the point where Bitcoin reaches 800 million users. Kind of interesting, eh? So that's the missing piece to what I was talking about yesterday. I said, yes, Bitcoin would reach $1 million, but I didn't go as far as this guy and to say basically 800 million Bitcoin users will equate to $1 million Bitcoin. Now, I'm extending his prediction there. He said $400 million, $500,000 Bitcoin, but I think we can logically extend that. Anyway, that's of my doing, not his. So just put that in the proper context. Now it says, Liew expects the user base of Bitcoin to grow 20 times in the next 13 years. There's a quote here, quote, "The price is found by taking the $10 trillion market cap and dividing it by the fixed supply of 20 million Bitcoin." Close quote. It says a section of the presentation provided by Liew and Smith read. Okay, so that's a standard format for calculating market cap, right? Number of outstanding shares times the price per share. But Jeremy is saying here that if Bitcoin reaches a market cap of 10 trillion, which is kind of where all of these numbers are based on, assuming a market cap of 10 trillion and 21 million coins being issued, you end up with, say, $500,000 in Bitcoin. Then he's saying a $10 trillion market cap will be reached when Bitcoin reaches 400 million people. So that's his position as far as I understand it. And then finally here, there's a bit in purple that talks about the SEC's ruling on the Bitcoin ETF. It says, for Liew and Smith, the denial of the Winklevoss brothers' Bitcoin ETF coin was somewhat expected, primarily due to the inefficiency of the SEC when it comes to the approval of new markets and assets. Quote, "In the meantime, Bitcoin is already simple to buy and hold, and as the asset continues to mature, we'll continue to see an increase in the development and the development of the surrounding products." Close quote. Now I'm going to give this guy's words some weight on the basis of his track record and how he likely sees the world. If he looks at Bitcoin as a payment app, just like the other technology companies that he's invested in, he'll be able to sort of overlay it with his past experience and then spot patterns. So if he sees Bitcoin as like the core app, and then he sees an ecosystem building up around it, as we see, I mean, even I recognize that the longer that process goes on, the more the ecosystem develops around that central core, the more of the ecosystem relies on that core, and thus the core's chances of failure diminish rapidly. So if Jeremy's predictions are accurate, a $500,000 Bitcoin is just 13 years away. So thanks for joining me today, guys. If you liked this episode, hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. Please leave me a comment below with some feedback and get subscribed. And please support the Cryptoverse and boost cryptocurrency adoption by going to cryptoversity.com/podcast and becoming a patron. From just a few dollars a month, you can secure Cryptoversity's future, get unlimited access to all Cryptoversity courses, and access a private patrons-only chat group where you get direct access to me. That is all for today, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Cryptoverse. So until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.